So I wanted to give this thing a proper review, and it's, like a super little tiny projector. I actually don't even know who it's made by, but this thing is actually pretty awesome. The only thing that I could say I don't like about it is the lens adjustment, and the fact that even with the mouse, even with the remote, there's really no way of adjusting the way that the screen looks, or like adjusting the corners so that you can fit out your whole screen. But ultimately, I mean, you can see the picture is not bad. I do recommend dialing it back from 1080p to 720p. 1080p just looks a little bit too pixelated, and you can see more of the boxes. It is meant to do 480p, and essentially you can see more of the pixels at 1080p from what I could see. I dialed it back to 720p and it looks nice and sharp and crisp. You do need mild lighting. So this is actually the LEDs that I have in the room are all kind of toned back. They're really not very bright right now, and essentially you can see it lights up pretty well. I do recommend keeping it at about 7 feet from the back of the projector to the screen, just because that's where you're going to get the best quality picture. You can kind of see, if I get a little closer to the screen, that on the top corners, it does look a little fuzzy. But the wording and everything like that towards the bottom of the screen, is a little bit better. Ultimately, like I said, it's not a bad projector for $60. I had an RCA one that was, similar to this, a little bit bigger than this, and, had poorer quality pictures. So honestly, this is not a bad projector for the cost, and I'd give it a 10 out of 10, because honestly, the sound isn't bad either. And of course, now there's no sound, but I'll wait for a second or two for that to come back, because that should be going any second now. Come on now. There we go. And this is only at 61, but it's, just as loud as a TV. This is, kind of like quiet commercial, but
they will tell you, hey, those first 40 minutes, we got to play 60 minutes. That was a problem last year, 60 minutes of consistent hockey.
And I think finishing that out.
I think it's ever the load. So it does have a speaker. And this is the sound from the speaker. So overall, this is like really good, especially if you have kids and they don't have TVs in their rooms. So it's really good, and it gives a nice little picture. And we don't have a screen. This is a flat wall. So this is just a regular white wall. And this is showing extra clear on this white wall. So this is a 10 out of 10. Love it.
on the wall now. I just get Tinga to the thing. I got the Tinga to the thing. Get Tinga. Tinga.
Face guards are worth 10 points. The closest to 21 wins. If you go over, you lose. If the dealer goes over, they lose. It's the most popular card game in the world.
It's a game with memory. Cards drawn of the past, ones to come.
The National House. It is a multicolored castle, yellow, purple, red, etc. It is quite amazing in person. It is huge, and there are a lot of photo spots. And as with any tourist attraction, it does come with its own